Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, good evening and welcome back to League Zero Intermediate Division coverage. Tonight, we begin the 5th week of the regular season with our feature match between the undefeated Meerkat Kollapse and the underdogs in the Louisiana Lobsters. Who will come out victorious today and add another win to their belts before the playoffs? There's only one way to find out. My name is Bowsy, and I'm joined here by Dexatron in the cast and Knock on Wood in production. Dex, how are you doing this fine day?
Man, I am doing great. I've been looking forward to this matchup for a little bit, ever since I got announced that I was going to be casting it. I've been looking forward to this one. These are two good teams. Like you said, the Meerkats coming in this game, riding a perfect record on the season and in the second split. The Lobsters, well, ended the first split in with a 500 record of 2-2, did win their first game in the second split right now. So this is really a battle of undefeated so far in the second split.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a absolute grudge match coming into this. It's going to be determined on those playoffs, which do start very soon. Only one more regular season week and the final midseason tournament, or at least the midseason tournament. And then they'll be heading on. And a lot of star names on both of these rosters, including a lot of the pickups coming out from the Lobsters.
Yeah, me and you were talking with this with almost Christmas or knock on wood before the game started that there are a couple players on the Lobsters that got picked up recently that you could argue shouldn't really be down here in the intermediate division, but yet they are here. And so far, it seems like they've been wreaking havoc on the other teams.
Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lobsters take on the Meerkats, and if the Meerkats can respond with diligence, as we're going to be heading into our first map here very soon. It is Nepal for the first map. Of course, we have a new map pool heading into the second split, so everything is different, and it's going to be interesting to see which team comes out on top with it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. Nepal is one of actually my favorite control maps. One that we see, fairly often, but not as often as, a Lijiang Tower or some of the other, more popular control maps. But I feel like this map in general has the 3 points. You could see very, very different play styles come out on all of them, or you'll just normally see a 6-man if the team doesn't necessarily feel comfortable coming out with something that could honestly surprise the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. Surprise might be the name of the game here. Anything could happen, and it all determines on how well you can adapt to each sort of style. We're currently waiting for everybody to get started into the room here, but it's going to be interesting to see, especially with how varied these lineups are. I'm not used to these amount of people we see on these teams. 11 and 12 for Meerkats and Lobsters, respectively, here.
Yeah, the Lobsters, if they wanted to, or is it the Meerkats? I believe it's the Lobsters. If they want to, they could do a full team substitution, which honestly, if you ask me, would be a really interesting thing to see. However, I don't think we'll see a full team swap come out, because I think that just gives the advantage over to the Meerkats, since the Lobsters will be basically swapping in a team that is a little bit cold compared to the team that they're currently going out with.
Absolutely. As we start heading into the map here, we're going to be starting on Nepal, and starting off with the first point being Nepal Shrine here. So there's a lot of opportunity here for compositions here, Dexa. It's going to be interesting to see what these teams come out with.
Yeah, honestly, though, I really expect that we might see a Symmetra off the start for both teams. Just get a TP to that high ground to try to get them the point faster. Then we'll instantly see them swap off to a character that can get them back to the point fast. Maybe a soldier, maybe a tracer, maybe even a Sombra. However, it doesn't seem like we're necessarily actually... Oh, there it goes. Chucky J going over to the Symmetra right there. And other than that, right now, the really main difference between these two teams is the Zarya that Michael is running for the Meerkats.
I am a big fan of that Zarya I see right now on the side of Meerkat Kollapse. So we'll see if they actually decide to keep it here as the gates are about to open up. Nope, Michael switched over to D.Va. Well, the pain of an off-tank player right there for you. The Symmetra's TPs are going to come out. The match has begun.
Capture the objective.
Like you said, Symmetra TPs coming out, and immediately I would expect them to swap off. However, it seems like both of them are going to stick with the Symmetra here for this first team engagement.
Absolutely. Dong trying to push forward with the rest of Louisiana Lobsters. That's a big freeze coming out from Donglag. We're trying to get that freeze onto Sam on the Reinhardt, but doesn't do enough. Lobsters still waiting for the opportunity to try and push in. Trying to look for that perfect opportunity. That's all this brawl comp allows for. Sam's starting to swing into the back line as Dong tries to find the first kill, and as Alois coming in with that first kill on the Reborn, but Sam gets the return on the Tong Lagger, but now Lobster's starting to push straight forward into the enemy team, trying to get all these kills that they need, but as they're doing that, Meerkat, they're still on the point. Sky gets the kill onto the main tank, and the window is used as well, so it's possible here for the Meerkat to be able to win this, and they are going to be able to win it. Meerkats will be able to get the first point here on the ball.
Yeah, they already captured while that first team fight was going on, and now they're just trying to clean up some of the stragglers and some of the respawns already for the Lobsters right now. And honestly, it's just kind of hurting the Lobsters that they're coming back into this fight and engaging in them. They need to fall back now and wait for their teammates to now respawn, as Joe Badonk just fell off the map with help there from Reborn. However, they're going to come back into this next engagement with some ultimates. The Shatter and the Wall will be huge. They are also really close to a beat, a bomb, and a blizzard, but same thing could be said for that of the Meerkats as well, who right now can play a very defensive point or position on point if they want to.
Bomb comes out here from Michael, doesn't get any sort of kills as the teleporter was there from Chuggy, so now the Meerkat Kollapse starting to make, or Louisiana Lobsters, excuse me, take their way onto this right side high ground, now making the engage here with Donk, and that wall coming out from Chuggy. Wall also responded here from Sly, as Lobsters try to find their initial first pick. Immortality Fields used and burnt down here, and Lobsters start making their way onto this point. The point capture goes up, and the Shatter is massive coming out from Sam. 5 people knocked to the ground, and the Meerkats sweep the Lobsters back into the fish tank.
Yeah, honestly, they're going to get rid of Turget here and complete the team kill, but as Joe Badoink was able to respawn, they won't get credit for it. And just, I want to talk about the shatters that we saw there. Each Reinhardt used it. Joe Badoink, though, used it into the Symmetra wall that the that Sly had put down just after Chuggy J put their own down, and pretty much blocked Joe Badoink's there, and pretty much almost ended that fight immediately for the Lobsters.
Cat's now trying to stop the Lobsters if they try to push in. Overtime is triggered here. The beat used from Aloes, trying to keep the team alive. Throw that Blizzard. But now you see the rest of the team just trying to push forward. Joe is able to get 2, Joe Badonk able to get 2 here, and Naomi gets the kill on the slide. So it looks like at the end of the day, Louisiana Lobsters will be able to find this point in their favor, but they had to use a lot of ults in order to do it.
I mean, honestly, they really only used the beat there and the blizzard. Those 2 ultimates, while big, it did get them that retake they desperately needed there. But however, they will still have a bomb. They're really close to another shatter and a wall, and they have the damage matrix ready to go. When you look at the Meerkats, all they have is a beat, which honestly probably won't be the smartest thing they use here in this engagement, as we already see the damage matrix come out here for the Lobsters.
Also used here from Majestic, and the Shatter comes out from Joe Badonk. Doesn't look like it got anything, but still Sam dies to the hands of Aloe, as now you see the rest of the Meerkat Kollapse starting to collapse themselves, and they start heading back. Majestic finds Joe Badonk, however, so this is turnable, and Sly uses the wall to be able to try and prevent any sort of damage. Turget uses the bomb right in the middle of the shield, so it might not be able to get any sort of value, and he might not be able to get a remake online, as Chuggy uses their own wall here. Meerkat Kollapse still trying to find their way into the point, and Sam has returned to the fight. So Meerkats take this right side approach now. They have the advantage in this fight still, and the window is there from Sky to make sure that Louisiana Lobsters can't stand anywhere. Bomb comes in from Michael, unable to get any sort of kills. Blizzard, however, from Reborn looks to be massive. It might catch Joe Badonk offline, but now Dogwaggler uses their own Blizzard, and it's going back and forth still. It's been a back and forth affair throughout this entire thing, but it looks like at the end, Meerkats will finally find the kills that they need.
Yeah, even with that late Blizzard there from Dongwangler, just the Meerkats pure, or just pressure on that point, forcing the Lobsters off there, as the Meerkats do take that first point there and give themselves, 1 point away from winning the first map. Just an overall a really good performance by the Meerkats there on that first map. They got up 99-0, allowed the Lobsters to retake the point there, and the Lobsters did a really good job controlling the point when they had it. It just, when it comes to all that last fight there, ultimates being used, they were not able to really capitalize on the ultimates that they use like the Meerkats were able to.
Absolutely. Now we head over to Nepal's Sanctum, which traditionally isn't a brawl map, so we might see if these teams decide to stick to the brawl, or they might try to go for some sort of different styles. But right now, looking like no change, apart from a change on the side of Meerkat with the off-tank.
I mean, we're still seeing the Symmetras come out here. I don't, even as a sim main myself, I don't necessarily know how viable sim is here. Chuggy J somehow TPing or falling off the map there. Just a big mistake for them, and that will really severely hurt the Lobsters here in this engagement.
Absolutely, that claw did not go anywhere far. Meerkat's now starting to push right forward into Louisiana Lobster's spaces, trying to take as much space as possible, so they will be able to get this point. The Sigma from Michael also is enabling that. The charge, yep, Sam, we're not going to talk about that charge, but Michael falls off the map now. Now that's 2 environmental deaths. do environmental suicides in this map thus far. That's got to be rough for both sides. But now it enables Louisiana Lobsters to push forward. Sam, no off tank means no life. Jobadog now pushing straight forward on that Reinhardt, and the window from Naomi enabling him. And Majestic just boops off Naomi right off the point. But still, it's going to be the Louisiana Lobsters being able to take this point for themselves.
Yeah, somehow they are the ones that cap point first, which honestly surprises me. In my opinion, that fall off the map from Chucky J after the Sim TP should have really cost him the first point. However, just a strange fight happening after that. Michael falls off the map, and somehow we see the Lobsters taking control first.
So now you're going to be seeing Meerkat Kollapse just try to go straight to the point. They have this extra shield presser, as I mentioned, so it might play into their favor here. It's also going to be an ult game. Jobadong just slams Reborn straight to the ground. The shot is massive from Sam, but also the charge from Jobadong sends him straight to the pits below. And Louisiana Lobsters, they take the fight win for themselves.
Yeah, you know, Sam's gonna be looking back at that shatter. While it caught a lot of members of the Lobsters out, Jobadonk had charged him and actually hit him just before that, or just after the shatter came out. Essentially, he stopped Jobadonk on point as Sam was knocked off into the pit. And honestly, that was probably the best case scenario for the Lobsters there. They got rid of a lot of their ultimates, but the Meerkats are still gonna come in with 3 ultimates and popping the Graviton Flux here and the Blizzard as this fight begins.
Yeah, also the wall coming out from Sly. They did TP straight onto the point, and you see Louisiana Lobsters realize it, but they've already lost their main tank here. It's going to be rough here for Louisiana Lobsters to try and bring this back, and it looks like Meerkat Kollapse will be able to get this point into their favor, unless there's some clutch last-minute factor here from Louisiana. Doesn't look like it is. They're just going to try to stall it out here as much as possible. As I say that, Alois gets the boot kill onto Michael, and the Blizzard comes out here from Dongwaggler, able to get the kill on the Sly. It's even right now, pretty much, as the rest of the team tries to run back. Majestic boots off Dongwaggler, sends it to the pits below, but now you see Louisiana Lobsters trying to invest more ults in this, in a lost fight, pretty much. It's going to be Meerkat Kollapse taking the point with 90%, or at least 91%, in favor of the Lobsters.
Yeah, you know, all that there at the end was really just the Lobsters trying to stall out as much as they possibly could on that point. But I don't know if that was necessarily the right thing to do, because look at, actually, you know, looking at the ult economy right now for both teams, they have hands are both low in that charge, so maybe it was a smart thing that they contested as long as they did. However, they're going to come in with the bomb and the damage metrics ready to go, as we already see a huge engagement starting here.
Shatter comes out from Sam, lands on the 2, but he gets frozen up in the middle of the enemy team. Blizzard comes out here from Reborn, however, but already 2 picks their favor here for the side of the Louisiana Lobsters. Jobadonk does die, but still, the picks are in favor here for the Lobsters. They're just going to keep pushing forward, find the kills that they need, but Sky able to take out Alois. That's big. One of your support players no longer in the fight, but the flank goes through. The bomb comes out here from Target to try and reset the mech. Won't be able to get any kills with it, but now you see Sly being able to try and contest the point here on that Reaper, but the rest of the team coming back. Overtime now triggered here as Louisiana Lobsters hit 99%. Reborn back on his Doomfist. Majestic's able to get the kill on the Chunky J thanks to the support, but Jobadon finds Sly. Michael able to find him, and Meerkat Kollapse finding the kills that they need. They will be able to take this point back in due time.
Yeah, they should be able to here. All that really is left is Alois there as they fall, and now, you know, the Lobsters are at 99%, so essentially one team fight win or one team kill should honestly get them the point here. But they just need to retake it now from the Meerkats, who we've seen them make a couple swaps here. A couple swaps, in my opinion, are really just to trying to get back to the point and contest it as long as they can. Reborn, though, on that Doomfist can be incredibly dangerous, especially if they're able to find an early pick.
Absolutely. Reborn already pushes right in. The Lobsters trying to make use of this Blizzard. The bottom comes out from Chuggy, unable to find anything. Bomb from Michael just to reset the mech, but it finds Alois again. Lobsters have continually lost this Lucio throughout most of these fights. At the end of the day, the Meerkats keep the point for themselves.
Yeah, 75% and counting now for the Meerkats. The Lobsters will have 3 ultimates, almost 4 ultimates ready to go when they come back into this one. As we see Chucky J make a late swap to a Symmetra, I don't know whether or not that's just to try to get the team back faster or if they're going to try to get another TP onto point here, but it looks like they're going for the speed factor rather than trying to get on point. However, these 3 ultimates need to be huge for the Lobsters.
Absolutely. B comes in, and that's a massive shatter coming out from Sam. Knocks 3 to the ground, and Alois falls first. Blizzard comes out from Dongwaggler, however. It does connect onto the Diva. Turget has to use the bomb in order to reset the mech, and Reborn's able to get the kill. Meerkat Kollapse finding the kills that they need, and Reborn's making a show on this Doomfist thus far with those 2 punch kills. At the end of the day, Meerkat Kollapse will clean up these Lobsters and will be able to take the first map in this series. Meerkat Kollapse go up 1-0.
overall a great performance there by the Meerkats on Nepal here. Overall, like the first map of I don't remember the name of it. It was just a great performance from them. They went up 99-0 on it before the Lobsters were able to finally get something on that point. But then after that, you know, it seemed like the Lobsters finally figured something out there to start this the second point. And they did a really good job getting it all the way to overtime, but the Meerkats, just a strong team overall, were able to fight back, retake the point, and end up winning the first map.
Yeah, absolutely. And really good job there from the Lobsters, showing that they do have some contention here against the Meerkats. A lot of good plays there, being able to bring it really close on both of those points. It was not an easy 2-0 victory on Nepal here for the Meerkats. But now we get to go on to our second map of the match, which I believe might be Assault, but I am not familiar with the map pool here, so please excuse me for not knowing this.
I believe we will be going to a hybrid map, and the options are Hollywood, Eichenwald, or Blizzworld. It just all depends on what map the Lobsters think is probably their best chance to get a win here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm checking right now. Yes, it will be a hybrid map, and it is the maps that you just mentioned. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams go for, and we'll get to see what they decide to go for. What team is it going to be that Lobsters get to choose? Because I'm pretty sure it is the loser of the last map gets to pick the next map. So we'll see what the choice is between Hollywood, Eichenwald, or Blizzard World.
Yeah, honestly though, the loser does pick the next map. But from what we saw from the Lobsters, I don't really know what kind of playstyle they have to go into this map and choose, because it seemed like while the Lobsters, it was pretty much a mirror match the entire time, and you can say they had a little bit of a different pick there on the attack there on the pit map on Nepal. It didn't necessarily work. Yeah, Sanctum. It didn't necessarily work out for them fully in the end, as the Meerkats are able to come back and just have a very, very strong retake and then defense on that point, while the Lobsters really struggled after that first time they captured to retake the point. Yes, they did retake it again, but all they really did was get it into overtime and then struggled to get it back.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see. And we've obviously these two teams right now, we've seen a lot of brawl style. Could that really determine what map we decide to see here, Dex?
I mean, it honestly could. You never know with hybrid maps, especially on that first point. You want to be able to try to get it as fast as you possibly can, so you can have a large time bank to push it to that second point on the map. It sounds like we could be seeing Eichenwald just by what I'm seeing here in the chat, but there has been no official map change as of yet. But it all just really comes down to what kind of attack they want to have here on the first point, because after that, I normally think the second point you're going to see a lot of swaps come out from both sides anyway.
Yeah, definitely. The teams are not helping right now with trying to tell us what map we're going to be choosing here, because they're all throwing out random map names. Meerkats are throwing out some map names, so we don't know exactly what they're deciding to choose here. So it'll be interesting to see. The Lobsters obviously talking about it, trying to figure out where they went wrong and what they can improve on when it comes to this next map in the series.
Yeah, honestly though, but what do you think the Lobsters really need to improve on? Because like I said, it seemed like for the majority of the time, we were just kind of seeing a mirror match. Only towards the ends of each map or each points on Nepal were we seeing really any difference in the team's compositions. Just what do you think the Lobsters need to improve on?
I feel like the big thing they need to improve on is maybe target coordination, because we saw obviously a lot of mechanical skill on the side of the Lobsters. They were able to get a lot of big kills. We saw Joe Badonk, who did get the play of the game, which was unfortunately skipped, but still a lot of mechanical skill there. They just need to be able to coordinate together and choose and figure out who they're going to be going for. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do here, what swaps they decide to make, because there were a lot of moments in that match where I felt like the Lobsters could have been able to turn around if they were just focusing the right target, but in the end, they weren't able to do it, and therefore they weren't able to get the point when it mattered the most. Meerkats were able to do it themselves. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to improve on, how they decide to improve on, and then what they're going to be able to come out with.
Yeah, still have not had a map select here. Don't really understand why, but
right now the Louisiana Lobsters look like the Louisiana Snails in terms of designing this map. So
yeah, honestly, I'll agree with you there. But you talked about Joe Badonk. While they did get the play of the game there that we did end up unfortunately skipping, I will say this: on the first point, they had two shatters on that one that never connected with anyone on the Meerkats. While one was due to a great wall by, I believe, Reborn on the Symmetra. The other one just kind of whiffed on everyone, and I think was the nail in the coffin for them on that point, at least.
Well, now we do have officially our map coming into map number 2. The Louisiana Lobsters have chosen Eichenwald, so we're probably going to be seeing a lot more brawl style coming out here from both sides here, Dex.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see that. We could see a surprise and maybe a a Pharah or an Echo on the first point here, especially on the offensive side. Hell, maybe even a Symmetra. I've seen people TP through the choke point and immediately get as close to that point as they possibly can, or the capture point as fast as they can, so they do not have to get stuck, potentially just walled off by that choke point for the longest time.
Yeah, definitely. We could see that Symmetra brawl style here on Eichenwald. It's possible for at least the first point. Second point, high ground might be a little bit too much, but it can work to your favor if you need to. So it'll be interesting to see what these two teams do. If we're going to be seeing any swaps, which right now I haven't noticed any. I mean, considering how much backlog these two teams have in terms of roster, they can definitely make swaps if they want to.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised we're not seeing a swap come out from either a team. Surprised, or more surprisingly, that we're not seeing a swap come out for the Lobsters. Maybe, you have a whole side you could swap in. I would think maybe, you have one person for a an assault map, you have a couple people for hybrid maps, and you have a couple people for escort maps. But it seems like they're confident with the team that they had in that first map going into the second map.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be seeing as the teams are getting ready right now. It looks like we're going to be heading into Eichenwald here very shortly. It will be the Meerkats starting out on the defense with the Lobsters starting out on the attack. So it'll be interesting to see what these two teams come out with and which team's going to be able to prevail here as we head into halftime after this map.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not surprised we're seeing the Meerkats select defense first. I always believe that's probably the safest thing to do, especially after you win a map. Well, there are a lot of times where you see a team that wins a map wants to keep that momentum up by attacking first on the next map. I feel like just being safe, especially with how the Lobsters really kind of showed that they're not a team to, just kind of brush off to the side there on the first map. They really did put up a good competition against the Meerkats. It's just being safe here, going on defense, so you know what you have to do on your attacking phase second.
Absolutely. As we get started into Eichenwald here, again, just a reminder, Meerkats on the defense, Louisiana Lobsters on the attack, as we're going to be seeing the defensive composition come out from Meerkat. And I'm not surprised by seeing the May or the Reinhardt or the Sigma, but the Hansa from Reborn.
Honestly, that's not really a shock for me. That Sonar Arrow can be a huge help to any team, especially just letting them know who they're going to come out with right away. But again, the Hanzo is still a very strong character on this map, especially if you can trap him at that choke point, or at the choke point of the bridge there, coming to this control point. However, we are seeing Dong Wangler come out on that Symmetra. Like I said, we could potentially see a Symmetra just try to TP their team through the choke point so they don't have to deal with it. It does look like, in my opinion, though, the Meerkats did come out with a composition that they are kind of expecting a TP to come through.
They definitely will see what the move is here. Coming out from Louisiana Lobsters, they make their way through the initial streets phase and head toward the choke area. The Sim TP is used, and they teleport right to that left side, as we expected. Straight to the point. Michael tries to hit that rock, but is unable to. And now you see Meerkat Collapse trying to find their footing into this. Sam gets trapped. The immortality field is there, but not for long, as Dong Wangler will burn them to the ground. Now Meerkat's down their main tank. They still have a shield with Michael, but maybe not for long. He's getting frozen up, and he'll get melted down by Target. Reborn finds Chuggy J, however, so it's still winnable here for the Meerkats. Reborn finds another. Now Majestic finds Jovadonk. All of a sudden, the Meerkats are trying to bring this back, but Target eats the dragon. Massive play coming out from the D.Va player, but the Lobsters still losing players one by one. And at the end of the day, Meerkats surprisingly hold the point.
Yeah, Meerkat's doing a great job holding the point there, but I honestly have to think that was a little bit of a misplay there by the Lobsters. They had the point completely controlled, and the Meerkats were kind of hanging around this bell tower or clock tower here just to try to protect themselves. The Lobsters, all of them, got off the point there for a significant amount of time. And if you ask me, if they all stayed on that point, we would not be having another fight here on first point.
Absolutely not. Jovadonk just gets burnt down immediately when he's exposed to that barrier. The Blizzard comes out from Sly, and Chuggy J ends up eliminating them, but Michael's found too. Meerkat's just pushing straight into the enemy spawn room, and Jovadonk What is that, the third or fourth shatter of this match that he has whiffed? Unfortunate for the main tank over on the side of the Lobsters.
Things you hate to see if you're Joe Badonk or a Lobsters fan right now. And now they're kind of at a little bit of a struggle here. Yeah, they're close to the wall. They have the wall ready to go. They are close to a blizzard and a bomb. However, we already see Reborn have another Dragons up. Graviton Flux ready for Michael, and a beat ready for Majestic, so almost anything that the Lobsters throw out here in this next fight can easily be negated.
Oh, and a massive Flux coming out from Michael, followed up with the Dragon coming out from Reborn. No kills thus far until Turget ends up dying to Michael, and now the kills all going in favor here for the side of Meerkat Kollapse. They're going to be winning this fight handily.
Yeah, this is getting out of hand right now, if you ask me. The Lobsters had a great first attack. However, now that Dongwaggler has used that wall, I would hope or suspect that they would swap off Symmetra. However, it looks like they want to stick with it. They still have 3 ultimates ready to go. The 3 that I talked about before that last fight are now ready for them. However, the Meerkats now have a Shatter and both support ultimates ready to go with a Blizzard close behind.
Oh, the TP baits from the side of Louisiana Lobsters, trying to bait out the enemy team. The window comes out from Sky, but already Louisiana Lobsters have found a way around it. The beat comes out from Aloise. Despite that, Meerkats start pushing forward with their own beat. The Shatter comes out from Joe Badonk, and unfortunately is another whip. Bomb from Turget gets 2! Massive play coming out from Turget, and now Chuggy J's Blizzard eliminates Sky. Meerkat Kollapse, unfortunately seems like they will collapse, and Louisiana Lobsters will find point A.
Yeah, a nice play overall by them there. They needed to get that point, as I believe was just about to tick into overtime for them, and just an overall great team fight for them to get that first point. Now they give them a little bit more time here, and it looks like they want to go on the aggression here, try to get to that high ground first, TPing up there. Damage matrix comes out from Naomi here to start off everything.
Absolutely. The E from Michael keeps everyone alive, however. So now the window used here from Naomi, now out of the picture, as Louisiana Lobsters have to wait for this push coming out from Meerkat Kollapse. And the Blizzard is there from Sly, trying to keep everyone in. Joe Badonk gets booped back into the Blizzard. A massive play coming out from Majestic on the Lucio. It does not cost him his life, but Dongwaggler, however, is dead. So at the end of the day, Meerkat Kollapse might be able to win this fight. The Flux comes out, kills out Naomi, and the rest of the team falls, as Meerkat Kollapse will get a little bit of a hold here on the card.
Yeah, Chuggy J picking up 1 kill there for the Lobsters. However, it's pretty much just a consolation kill, as they had, I believe themselves, had to go run back to group up with their team here before dying. But coming in this next engagement, we still have Sam holding on to that Shatter. That could be big here. A TB coming through, and they're already in the castle.
Yeah, absolutely. The wall from Sly, unable to stop anybody coming in, as you see the Lobsters push forward. But Reborn has the Dragon Strike and also finds Dongwaggler. The kill goes on to Sky, but at the end of the day, the Louisiana Lobsters are sending themselves back to spawn.
Yeah, that is not how you wanted to have that go. Dongwaggler sticking on this Symmetra still. While I myself am a sim main, I would pretty much say at this point, you use the wall and then swap off to someone else. I don't necessarily think Symmetra is that good of a pick here, especially on the first push to that second point.
You need to consider that Chuggy J switched over to the Reaper at the start of his point, so Dongwaggler probably just wanted to use the walls and just keeps building up. So now you see Louisiana Lobsters teleporting up to the high ground, and they found Reborn on the left side. You can see they're chasing that Hanzo down, trying to find that first pick, and they do. Turget uses a bomb, might have gotten demeched as the Meerkat collapsed right onto them. Now the window comes out from Aloise. Now it's pretty much reversed roles right now. Meerkat Kollapse, the defending team on the attacking side, and guess who's in the back line ready for them? Chuggy J on the Reaper, but Sam finds both supports with the Fire Strike and a 3rd kill, and it's Joe Badonk. You can't let that happen if you're the Louisiana Lobsters.
Absolute collapse there from the Lobsters. They, in my opinion, I thought they had used that wall there perfectly. However, just the Fire Strike coming out, melting and killing both the supports in one fell swoop really hurt them a lot there, and the rest of the team just shortly fell after that. Now they're nearing half a minute left to go, and the Graviton Flux is coming out. It finds 3.
Yeah, big flush from Michael, and it gets the kill of the Dongwaggler as well. Sam also kills off Joe Badonk, and it's going to be a quick fight win here for the Meerkats, but only 20 seconds left for the Louisiana Lobsters.
Yeah, they're going to be having to come back now, and we're already seeing swaps come back out just to try to contest that point. Joe going over to the ball, as honestly, they could get on the cart right now and get some more distance. The entirety of the Meerkats went to their spawn.
Yeah, Meerkat's just trying to spawn camp here. Chuggy J tries to go for the Death Blossom, unable to get anything. Reborn shoots the dragons into the spawn, but you see that the Louisiana Lobsters have been pushing this cart. The shatter from Sam gets booped up, but still lands onto Jobadong. And at the end of the day, the Meerkat Kollapse is going to be able to hold this as long as they get these stagger kills quickly and effectively. But now I say that, Dongwaggler come back on the Echo, trying to find the picks. Doesn't look like it's going to be possible. Reborn finds the pick onto Dongwaggler. And all that's left is just a stagger here. It's just trying to get rid of all the little bits and pieces. But Turget gets back into the mech. Chuggy J loses the battle here on the Michael, so it looks like it's going to be a win fight here. Eventually, for the Meerkats, they just have to clean up all these picks.
Yeah, they have to right now. Jobadong, and somehow Alois has just been able to stay alive so far on this cart. We see Jobadong also there as well, but after that long of a contest, one fell second off that cart, and the round ends. Only 65 meters there for the Lobsters. Not necessarily a strong offensive performance from them there, but they need to have a better defensive one here if they want to try to pick up a game here.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lobsters, not a great push here, but they did show that they were able to get that point. They did push it to 65 meters, so they have some prime real estate to work with here, but it's going to be tight. So we'll see what the response is here on the defense and what the Meerkats are going to be coming out with. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we saw Donk on that Reinhardt with Turget on the Diva. We've been seeing a lot of that Rein Diva compositions. The rest of the field, however, is a blur. And as I say that, no, I'm proven wrong. Jobadonk on the Orisa and Turget on the Diva.
Yeah, and Orisa, that's an interesting pick for me. Orisa's not that strong in the current meta for Overwatch 1. And it's just an interesting one, like I said. Maybe it's just really to protect the turret. I'm trying to understand what the thought process is for this pick right now.
It can work, because obviously Orisa allows you to have more spam time compositions where you take multiple different angles. You have Chuggy J on this Hanzo, Dongwaggler on that Torbjorn trying to separate them. So really, this composition from Louisiana Lobsters can work. They can find a way to bring themselves around the point, but you see the enemy side and they're running the Rein Zarya with the Doomfist. So Reborn is either going to have a absolute easy time, or, you know, he's just going to go swap off to another hero. He sees the Orisa, thinks of it twice, and switches over to the Hanzo, and Sly heads over to the Symmetra as well.
Yeah, we might see that same TP through. Actually, looks like Sly just made a mistake. They're going to the Mei now instead. Might wall off the entirety of the Lobsters right now and get their team through the choke point, as we do see them do that. And now we should probably see the first fight break out here.
Absolutely. Sam makes their way to the back. Chuggy's able to find Michael, but Michael was in the front line, so that is expected. As now you see, Louisiana Lobsters have to try and find a way to contest this point, but Turget getting burnt down right now, but the damage is still trying to come out. 2-6 already taken here from Meerkat Kollapse, and Sam's going on a rampage. 2 kills for the Reinhardt, trying to make it a third, but gets killed out by Naomi. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the Meerkat Kollapse taking this point for themselves.
Yeah, and some stragglers there for the Lobsters is only going to hurt them there. It is Turget, but Turget can get back in the match, and they're able to, and they crush Majestic there. But they're going to get demexed right away and probably taken out, already staggering what is a weak Lobsters team at this point. And by the time this gate opens, they should be back. However, it's only about 45 meters they need to end the map.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be tight here for the side of Louisiana Lobsters. They have to try and contest this cart, make sure nothing bad happens. Target almost gets spot out there by Sly and the rest of the team coming through the stairway. And guess what? Chuggy J notices the Immortality Field is there from Sky, but they end up dying to Alois. So now it is a possible win here, but the Blizzard from Sly into the backline for the side of Louisiana Lobsters. They don't expect a thing, but Turget, what a great eat with that defense matrix, keeping the rest of the team alive, but the Meerkats still finding the kills that they need. The Flux is coming out here from Michael. Reborn shoots the dragon right into it, and right now the Meerkats finding the kills that they need. They just need to kill out these last remaining stragglers. Turget uses the bomb, doesn't get any sort of value because he had to use that as a remix alternative. Meerkats finding the kills. Turget, Alois, and Jobadonk all dead. The Meerkat Kollapse finding the kills that they need. At the end of the day, they will be cleaning this up. Dongwaggler and Chuggy Day are not long for this world, and it's going to be Meerkat Kollapse going up 2-0 as we enter halftime.
Victory.
Yeah, honestly, the Meerkats, they're an excellent defense performance, turning it into an excellent offensive performance as well. 2 incredibly good maps for them so far. The Lobsters, on the other hand, they had a good offensive showing to start. They had that great first take of the point, but then, like I said, they all got off the point there. In my opinion, they could have easily full capped the point in one team fight. They just all got off, and everything after that just went the way of the Meerkats.
Yeah, definitely. Meerkat Kollapse showing that they kind of are surpassing Louisiana Lobsters, but it has been close thus far. The Lobsters have shown us that they can adapt to certain situations. They can be able to, they can try to work themselves into this. It's all a matter of if they can try to bring themselves back into this. So when we come back from halftime, we'll see if the Louisiana Lobsters have set themselves up for a reverse sweep or if Meerkat Kollapse is going to be winning this match handedly. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to League Zero Season 5 Intermediate Division coverage. If you missed the match thus far, it is a 2-0 lead thus far for the Meerkat Kollapse. Louisiana Lobsters looking for some sort of redemption here, and they've chosen our escort map to be Route 66. Bowsy here with Dex, and it's been a close series thus far, Dex, but Meerkats have just come out on top every single time.
Yeah, we've seen signs of life from the Lobsters in every map so far, but the Meerkats have just been able to kind of crush those signs of life pretty much just after the Lobsters show them. Now, the Lobsters had a great chance there on Eichenwald to cap the point, like I said before break, within the first team fight, but they all got off the point to go after some members of the Lobster or the Meerkats, and we immediately saw Reborn and a couple other members pop off and find kills when it was only 3 members against 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're heading into Route 66 as well, with Lobsters making some changes. Gusty coming in on the support line, Tannic B coming in on the DPS line, and Altair also coming in on the DPS line. So it's going to be interesting to see what these changes bring in for the Louisiana Lobsters, as they'll be on the defense first this time, with Meerkats on the attack.
Yeah, honestly, the Lobsters need to make some changes there. It just seemed like some of the players were kind of struggling with what they were doing throughout those first 2 maps. I kind of mentioned it before going into Eichenwald that I'm not surprised we saw any subs. Now they're making some subs because their backs are against the wall at this point. Another map loss is the series for them.
Yeah, definitely. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the Lobsters are able to do here, if they're gonna be able to try and find their footing when it matters the most, and if they're gonna be able to try to initiate this reverse sweep opportunity and try to bring Meerkats to their first loss of the season. Meerkats still looking for that undefeated season here in League Zero Season 5, so we're gonna see if they're gonna be able to do it. We're hoping to head into Route 66 here very soon. We're just waiting for the R from both teams.
Yeah, I believe the R has actually been shown to both teams right now, but they're just kind of waiting on us. I believe we should be getting in here really soon. However, we talked about the changes that the Lobsters are making. No changes for the Meerkats, as both me and you talked about in between the break here. We would have been absolutely surprised if they made any changes. This team that they have out there right now has been an absolute problem for the Lobsters.
Absolutely. The Lobsters have just been steaming right now with the Meerkat Kollapse. Meerkat has been doing pretty well thus far with this entire roster. I've known some of these players before, Sly, Reborn, and Sky, but Majestic, Michael, and Sam, they're also showing up in the best way. So Meerkat's really just a well-oiled machine right now, and they are anything but collapsing in the times that they need to.
Yeah, actually doing the exact opposite of collapsing. They're expanding at this point right now with their play right now. Like you said, and like we mentioned about this entire series right now, they are undefeated both in the first split and so far in the second split as well, trying to keep that undefeated season going in the regular season. And honestly, they've by far probably been the best team in the intermediate division of League Zero this season.
Yeah, definitely. Meerkats definitely showing that they are willing to step up when it matters, be able to assert themselves as the best team in intermediate, but they still have to get through the Louisiana Lobsters, and it's going to take Route 66 to decide that. So we'll be heading in very quickly. We're just waiting on Tannic B, who had the BRB right when we were just about to go into the map. Unfortunate circumstance, but hey, I'm not going to judge.
I'm not gonna judge either. I'm not.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've casted a couple of Tannic B games before. I'm not really surprised that he had to go right before we were gonna get started there. But again, let's just talk about how this entire series has gone so far. We can start on Nepal. The Meerkats came out dominant on the first point. The Lobsters, after getting 9-9 0'd, were able to retake the point before the Meerkats were able to end that first map. However, they were only able to hold on to it for about 60% before the Meerkats came back and retook the point and ended the map essentially in one team fight. And then on the second map, it seemed like the Lobsters had kind of fixed all their problems there. While a few mistakes by each side, each having one person just walk off the side of the map, which was kind of funny. But the Lobsters came out, capped the point first. I believe they got up to about 91% before the Meerkats were even got control of the point. And I said it after that they only need to have one team fight win to pretty much end the map. However, that one team fight win never necessarily came for them.
Yeah, definitely. So Nepal went that way, and then Eichenwald last map was pretty interesting because the Meerkats were able to hold it out, even in situations that it definitely did not look winnable in. And the Lobsters had a lot of struggle taking that point A. They did eventually take it, but only took 65 meters off. And then the Meerkats came through and pretty much wiped the floor with the Lobsters. So it's going to be interesting to note while we're waiting for the teams to get ready. It's interesting to note that Naomi on the side of Lobsters, as we heard in the chat, actually played for the Meerkats earlier this season. So they played for both teams in this season.
Yeah, you'd be looking at that as a game for Naomi. It's kind of a little bit of a revenge game because either they left on their own terms or there was something that happened that made them leave. They're now on the Lobsters who, ending that first split with a 500 record, winning their first game in the second split, are looking to, turn around their season right now. But a loss here would put them back at 500 again in the second split. And that's something I imagine they do not want to have happen again.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. If Naomi is going to be able to get revenge on their previous team, or if the Meerkats are going to show that she may not be needed over there. We're going to have to see what happens. We're waiting for the official confirmation. Still waiting for Tannic B to come back. So we'll see what they decide. We'll see what happens over there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams react because we've seen mostly the same style, but Lobster showed us last map that they're not out of the equation in terms of running different styles, which Route 66 is not so much of a brawl map. More so it is a spam or dive map. So this might play into Lobster's favor.
I mean, we've already seen one character that I think is very prominent here on Route 66, especially defending Orisa, come out from the Lobsters wall. It was a very questionable pick, in my opinion, on Eichenwald, and I don't necessarily think it really worked out for them at all on their defense of Eichenwald. It can work out very good on the first point of Route 66, especially if they want to, have their entire team post up on top of Big Earls.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like finally we have Tannic B back into the lobby, and we are going to be going in to our third map of the series here on Route 66. So anything can happen. It is going to be an interesting show here, as this could decide the series if Louisiana Lobsters have a chance to reverse sweep this, or if it's going to be Meerkat Kollapse getting the 3-0 victory here. It's going to, once again, be the Louisiana Lobsters on the defense and Meerkat Kollapse on the attack. So let's see what they decide to come out with as the gates are showing out here, Dex. What do you see first from the composition coming out here?
Well, no. Right now, hogs on both. Okay, thank God. We're not seeing hogs on both sides. We're seeing kind of what I expected to see from the Lobsters. The Orisa come out. We're seeing a D.Va come out. I really expected that tank line. If it wasn't going to be a D.Va for the Lobsters, I was expecting a Sigma just to have another second shield there. However, Tannic B is going to come out and play that Torbjorn again. While it kind of works with how they're doing this, and the turret's going to be far away from where the shield is, so it should catch off some stragglers or some flankers. It's just going to be interesting to see how Tannic B plays this Torb right now. But other than that, the hog coming out for the Meerkats is an interesting pick, and there it goes. They're teasing us again and coming back out with a more pretty much normal comp, in my opinion, for this map. Other than the Symmetra is an interesting choice. I wonder if we might see a TP up onto Big Earls to try to, completely wipe out the Lobsters here early.
It's definitely possible here as you see Meerkat Kollapse make their way through this initial choke. It's interesting to see that Altair on this Ashe. Obviously, Ashe does have a lot of damage, but no Mercy Pocket to help them. The TP comes out. They go underneath Big Earls here, trying to get that Baron on the gas station. But now you see that Louisiana Lobsters, they just drop straight onto the cart. They sacrifice this high ground, makes it so this rotation is useless, and now Michael's dead. Now you're down your off tank, and Louisiana Lobsters have found the key that they needed to try and win this first fight, but it all depends on how well they're able to hold out against this brawl competition coming out from Meerkat Kollapse. They're trying to find any sort of pick, but now Meerkat are pushing the cart with no contestant on the other side. And Louisiana Lobsters trying to find their fitting. Naomi gets picked out, but Altair able to get that kill on the Majestic, and now with Sam dead, it's going to be a 1-5 for the Louisiana Lobsters.
Yeah, good fight for them there. Michael coming back, getting Tannic B is probably not what you want to see, especially after a great first fight. Now they're already down a man, and it will be a long walk of shame back for Tannic B, who was just caught out by Michael.
Those Swedish legs are going to have to work faster than you ever think they ever would here for Louisiana Lobsters. It's going to be interesting, but now you see that Meerkat Kollapse might try to take a high ground approach. No, they're just going to be going straight for the tunnel, it looks like. They see the turret there from Tannic B, just stalling them out a little bit. Might be able to give enough time for Tannic B to return back to the fight as they try to set up the TP into Big Earls once again. They do. So now they're trying to make their way back up to the high ground, and they found Jobadonk on the other side. The window comes out from Sky, but Turget is able to eliminate Sam, and that Molten Core from Tannic B right when they needed it, right at the most. Both supports now dead for Meerkat Kollapse, and the hammer kill from Tannic B to finish out the fight.
Tannic B getting some revenge there by picking up that hammer kill, but a nice use of the ultimates there for the DPS on the side of the Lobster, using both of them to find the kills they needed to there. Just overall great team fight for them there. A nice win. Now it's under 2 minutes. While that cart has gone close to the point, look at what the Meerkats are going to come back with. They have a Shatter, they're about to have a Blizzard and a wall ready to go, but Reborn's already gone, so that Blizzard will not be happening this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Meerkats teleport right on top of Big Earls. Bomb comes out from Turget. The rest of the team on the left side. The Immortality Field is still popped from Sky, however, so Meerkats without that crucial piece. Sam goes to the low ground, tries to find any room for a Shatter, and gets just melted down from that drum, courtesy of Jobadonk, and it's another clean fight win for the Lobsters.
Yeah, Lobsters really seeming like they're a brand new team now. These 3 players they subbed in have already made huge differences in this map. And look at this! 5 swaps coming out from the Meerkat. Okay, whole team swap coming out here from the Meerkats now. They are desperate to try to get this first point, and honestly, I don't know if that was the right move. They had a Blizzard ready to go. That could have instantly took out a couple players, but now they're gonna have really no ultimates throughout this entire engagement, or maybe the next 2 engagements.
It could work in their favor, however. Those Wrecking Ball and Pulse Bomb are able to be built up really fastly here, so we'll see what the move is here, as now the enemy team, the Louisiana Lobsters, have to try and adapt to this. Sly now on the Hanzo, switched over from the Sombra, from the Symmetra, so Meerkat still trying to find their footing as the bomb is used here from Altair, just to try and stall this card out for a little bit, and Sam ends up dying. That's not a good sign for the Meerkat, as only 20 seconds remain here for their push here, and they're still trying to find any sort of value, but Altair eliminates Reborn before he's able to get the Pulse Bomb. Meerkat Kollapse. They are indeed collapsing at the point when it matters the most, and it looks like it's going to be a win here for the Louisiana Lobsters as Michael falls, and all of a sudden is Sam on this Wrecking Ball just trying to stall it out for as long as possible, but he will eventually succumb back to the point, or back to spawn.
Molten Core is coming out from Tannic. We can try to catch off some members, but it doesn't matter, as a great defense from the Lobsters keeps them in this game right now. And now all they essentially need to do is just cap their first point here on Route 66, and we have ourselves a series.
Absolutely. Only 73 meters there for the side of Louisiana Lobsters is needed, and they will be able to bring us to a 4th map and potentially try to start a potential reverse sweep here, which could be big here for the Louisiana Lobsters. And Meerkat Kollapse might not be prepared for it, but now it's Meerkat Kollapse going to be on the defense. They have to come up with something here to try and counter the Louisiana Lobsters and try to find their way to be able to win it out here, as you're going to be seeing them come out on this composition that they're going to be showing here. It's going to be interesting to see what they run. It's going to be that exact same comp we saw them on before.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the Lobsters, or I mean, the Meerkats, when they started out their attack, they started with that Roadhog, and that was an interesting pick for me. I just didn't necessarily think it was going to get much worthwhile. It did find Tannic B out late. That was really all the basically use that they got out of that Roadhog, as after that they just kind of struggled on the pick, and it really hurt them, because by the time they switched, it was already a whole minute gone.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be a big move here from the Meerkat Kollapse, trying to find their footing. They do have this Soldier and Tracer, which means they have a lot of good hit scan potential. They have a lot of good range potential and a lot of annoyances. But you look at the enemy side, they are sticking with this Reinhardt, and they are going with the Brawl composition that we saw Meerkat Kollapse run before. This could work.
It could easily work right now, but it just all depends on how they play. Again, I'm surprised we're seeing a Symmetra come out, because I don't necessarily think Symmetra is that good of a pick, but we're going to see him do exactly what I thought we were going to see the Meerkats do, and TP on top, but it's not working for them. Right now, we see Altair take one out, but nothing else is going their way.
No, Majestic on the Brigida gets 2 kills immediately, and that just sends Louisiana Lobsters back to where they came from. A very good play coming out there from the Meerkats, expecting that teleport, and being able to make it work into their favor. So now they get the hold.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised we're not seeing the swap off of the Symmetra right now. Tanic swapping over to the Reaper instead. Altair must honestly think that they can catch the team off guard right now with this sim play. However, they are going to get some free space here as the team, or the Meerkats, are just going to set up their defense.
Yeah, looks like they just want to try to push the cart, not stick on the high ground. The teleporter comes in from Altera, but doesn't really need it. Jobadon just walks up to the high ground, but now Naomi is dead to Reborn. That Tracer in the back line making do, and Michael gets the kill into Jobadon's with that Gravitic Plus. And it's another fight win here for the Meerkats. A really good start thus far.
Really good start for them right now. They just have to get rid of Turget, who they're gonna basically just try to stagger out here as long as they possibly can. They finally take them out there. And just a great play so far from the Meerkats. They know what they have to do to win this series right now, and it's hold the Lobsters under 73.34 meters. And we finally see Altair swap off of the Symmetra, now going to the Cassidy instead. Reborn does have that pulse bomb ready. Sam is close to a minefield, so this could be a very dangerous fight for the Lobsters again.
Absolutely. Pulse bomb comes in from Reborn, unable to get anything. No stick actually attempted there as Meerkats try to find their footing. Sam has the mines if they want to try to start this car out, but the tactical visor comes in from Slide, just trying to push Louisiana Lobsters into uncomfortable position. Trans is also used here from Sky to try and continue the issue, and Jobadon lands the shatter straight onto Slide's head. That's going to send that soldier into retirement immediately. Reborn finds the kill onto Naomi, but Sky is dead to Tanicby, and it's just a back and forth affair. But with this window coming out from Naomi's corpse, it's going to be Lobsters starting to push the cart.
Yeah, and look at this. They only have 2 more members of the Meerkats to kind of deal with. Majestic down. We're seeing some players respawn and get back. A good job by Reborn here just to try to contest this card. And now we're starting to see a lot of members of the Meerkats get back. But as fast as they're coming back, they are also falling.
Yeah, Tanicby uses that Death Blossom just to eliminate Sam, and Michael also falls, and we have a match on our hands. The Louisiana Lobsters take the escort map and bring us to a map 4 in the series.
Yeah, the Lobsters, I really gotta say, those 3 subs that they made going into this map made the difference for them. Honestly, Tanicby getting the play of the game here was absolutely amazing on the Torbjorn on the defense here, and then they came out on the they played Reaper a lot there to end the map, and it just really worked out for them. Now we finally see the Lobsters showing some signs of life. However, they have a large hill to climb right now if they want to win this game, as essentially the Meerkats now are going to be picking the map, so they're going to be picking to their favor.
Yeah, for the rest of the series, it's going to be the Meerkats' map choice. So now Lobsters are in a situation where they might have some trouble, because we've seen how the Meerkats love to play. They love this brawl style. They're not really willing to switch off to something else. When we see them switch off to something else, it's not as successful. It does some work, but it cannot be as good as that brawl composition. So it will be interesting to see what Meerkats decide to choose here for our assault map. Volskaya, Temple of Anubis, and Hanamura in the map pool. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to go here for their 2 CP map. And they've already decided it. It's Temple of Anubis.
Honestly, not really a shock to me. Temple of Anubis is by far probably the most common assault map we see, or at least I see. I do normally see some Volskaya in there, but Temple is one that I am so used to seeing in almost any league that I cast, that I'm not surprised we're seeing it here. The Meerkats selecting it because they believe they have the play style to beat the Lobsters here and end the series.
Well, we also see some swaps coming out here from the Meerkats, which is surprising considering we haven't seen any swaps coming out there. Sky is coming out on the support line. Sly is moving from the DPS to the support line, and Date is coming in on the DPS line. So very interesting swaps coming in here from the Meerkats, and it shows that they have some flexibility to this roster, and they might try to make it work in the end.
Yeah, honestly, Sly coming into that support role is going to be really interesting to see. Like you said, Date coming in now. First time we're going to see Date this entire series. So I wonder if just the fact they've been sitting on the sideline now for 3 games, if they're going to come in a little bit rusty, but they must believe that Date can be a huge difference here on Temple of Anubis, because I imagine they do not want this series going to a map 5 and the Lobsters to have all that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely not. You really do not want to go to a map 5 this late into the season with only one more regular season match after this. You do not want to run into a situation where you have to try it, where you're starting to lose the momentum you've had throughout the entire season. Right now, we're just waiting for the rest of the teams to get ready. Lobsters, unfortunately, had to go clean out their tanks, so we'll be seeing them back into the series here very soon.
Was it Danik again?
Yes, they indeed
Okay.
got Tanicked. I think we have now established what happens when you lose to Tanic B. Maybe in a hammer 1v1 as well. It happens when you get Tanicked. So we'll see what what these two teams come out, when we're going to be seeing them come out here on Temple of Anubis. It looks like we will be seeing Louisiana Lobsters still on the defense and Meerkats still on the attack here. So anything can happen. And right now, Meerkats, they're looking for that final map win to continue their undefeated streak here in League 0 Intermediate Division.
Yeah, like I said, the Lobsters starting here on defense, like I said, on Eichenwald and Route 66. Normally, I would say picking defense to play first is just the safe route. It's just a safe route for teams, especially with the Lobsters being already on match point, or already facing that wall of the Meerkats being on match point. Just knowing what they have to do when they are attacking will help them out so much. And if they have an incredible defense, it only makes it easier for them when they go out to attack.
Now entering
Absolutely,
the
as we're heading
Temple of
into
Anubis.
Temple of Anubis, what could be our final map of the series, or what could be the second to last map of the series and the enabler for a potential reverse sweep. It could even be the third to last map. And I don't know how the system works here, if it's first to 3 or if it's best of 4. I don't know. I'm used to several different styles. I'm getting confirmation it's first to 3, so there is the potential we get the draw here, and we have the chance of going to a map 6 on our Saturday night for my first cast here in League 0. Anyway, the composition's coming out here from the side of Louisiana. We see the Orisa Diva once again.
I don't know. Again, like, you can make the Orisa work on this first point, but I don't know if Diva is the counterpart to make it work. We're seeing Date come out on the Widowmaker for the Meerkats here, which makes me think that they are an absolute deadeye, as Tanakby, I don't know if they purposely meant to. They're tossing their turret, but kind of just missing on everything.
I think they're trying to hit that little... There might be a little bit of a ledge there, but I don't think that's possible, Tanakby. I think you're trying a little too hard to hit an unimaginary surface. There you go. Now you're in the right area. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Now we see from the other side, double bubble composition. The Zarya Winston composition. We'll see what happens. As Date looks like they're just trying to set their DPI to the right area, set themselves into the right area. Try to set up onto this jump, try to find that first pick. Not able to, but there's a big ante coming out from Sly onto 3 members here for the Louisiana Lobsters. But still, no one gave us far. Probably Louisiana Lobsters have to wait, and Meerkat probably just waiting for this nano to be built up by Sly.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that they were not able to get Sam out of there alive, but the entire collapse of the Lobster on him made sure that they were not getting out of that with their life. And Tanakby falls to Date, and that is the opening that the Meerkats were looking for.
Absolutely. That toy going out of the fight means there's no more separation, no more problems in terms of damage. Altair is still alive on this left side, but it could be a determinant of anything. The dive comes in here from Sam. The bubbles are there from Michael to keep them alive, but Turget finds the kill onto Sam. But now there's no DPS left on the side of Louisiana as Michael finds the kill onto Altair. How they got up there, we don't know. But still, the kills are going in favor here for the side of Meerkat. They demech Turget as well, so now it's going to be easy going here for Meerkat. Only one tank, and that is Joe Badunk in this small little room. He fight from Reborn, just trying to build up that blade as fast as possible, and the nano is used here from Sly as Reborn tries to find any sort of value. Not able to get any sort of kills, but Meerkat still finds some sort of advantage. It's Reborn to 17 health. Someone heal this man! Someone heal this Genji as the grab comes out from Michael. Trying to finish out the kills on the support, and the blade comes in from Reborn. 2 kills already in favor here for the Meerkats. Make it 3. Sly ends up dying to Tanakby's turret, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Meerkat Kollapse finding this first point.
Yeah, honestly, that was an interesting nano coming out there from Sly as they gave it to the Brigitte of Majestic there. That honestly kind of surprised me there, but maybe there's a boost in healing when you do that on Brigitte there. But
it could be just to get the nano, or at least the rally online.
Yeah, but no swaps coming out from the tank line of the Lobsters, which in my opinion, after they use the drum or the bongo and the bomb, you might be seeing some swaps come out for them, because I just don't know, again, how viable the Orisa is on this second point.
Here comes the dive from Sam. Just gets booped right away. The drum comes out from Joe Badonk, and same with the Molten Core coming out from Tannic. No kills resulted thus far, but so far the Lobsters have used 2 ults, and it looks like it's going to be Meerkat just stabilizing, waiting for the perfect opportunity to push it.
Yeah, the drum come out from Joe Badonk there kind of pulls off the Meerkats for a little bit right now, but look at the ultimates that the Meerkats are about to have. They're about to have a Primal Rage ready. Actually, they've had that Primal Rage ready for a while. Sly is close to a Nano, and a grab is almost ready as well, while the bomb is the only thing that's necessarily ready for them as Gusty falls early.
Yeah, Sam's Primal Rage dives straight into the backline, finds Gusty. Altair wins the Widow duel against Dave, but ends up succumbing them live to Sam. Michael trying to keep themselves alive with his Zarya. The anti-nade is there from Sly to keep them alive, and the Nano Boost as well. This Zarya's high charge, and you do not want to touch them at all. Tannic finds out the hard way that that's the case, as now Meerkat assemble themselves onto this point. Michael's found 2 in this fight thus far. This Zarya is making me proud of Zarya one trick, as Michael is just sweeping the floor right now. It's going to be eventually Meerkat getting some sort of progress, unless the staggers are big enough here from the side of Louisiana Lobsters. But it is 2 CP. Anything can happen. But the first tick is taken here from Meerkat. They just need to clean up the rest of the point.
Yeah, gets to go find Sly, which could be a big pick if they want to continue just kind of bleed out onto the point right now. The blade comes out from Reborn, but they've struggled to find anyone yet, and actually find no one with it. That's huge for the Lobsters. And as Altair takes care of Michael, the Lobsters actually kind of turning this fight. Altair takes out Sam as well.
Yep, Lobster's able to turn it around thanks to a lot of support there. They were able to turn it around, and now Meerkat, they used a lot of ults. They do have some back up, including that Primal Rage, but still, they wasted a lot of time. They did get 2 ticks, though.
Yeah, but you talk about the ults they use there. They use the grab. Look at Michael. Already 80%. Nano is at 84%. Rally is at 82% for them. Only a bomb and a Molten Core ready right now. Actually, no, not even a bomb. That was just a reback. Only a Molten Core ready. A Minefield almost ready for Joe Badonk there. But it's going to be really hard to see how they get any really use out of that, as there's so much that the Meerkats can do to negate everything they have.
The Molten Core comes out from Tannic. He gets blocked mostly by that bubble coming out from Sam. Sam ends up getting nano boosted and uses the Primal Rage, able to eliminate Gusty, but now there's already 2 picks in favor here for the side of Louisiana Lobsters. Naomi trying to stay alive, unable to, as the rest of Meerkat just dive right onto them, but still, it's pretty much a supportless fight in this entire engage. Turget ends up eliminating Sam, and now it's going to be a retreat here from the Meerkats.
Yeah, it's just ticking under 2 minutes to go for the Meerkats to get that last 33.33% onto this point. They're going to come back with a grab and a pulse bomb, as well as that rally. And really, the only thing that the Lobsters will have ready to go is that minefield. They are close to a bomb, but that minefield is going to have to be huge for them if they want to try to win this next team fight.
It's going to be on Turget right now to try and eat either this Pulse Bomb or this Graviton Surge to make sure that Meerkats do not have a lot of value here. So we'll see what they're able to do as Meerkats start making their way into this right room. Louisiana Lobsters, they use the minefield in that small room, and Sly's already dead. A massive pickup coming up, and now Michael's dead as well. Louisiana Lobsters, 1 ult used and 3 picks found.
Yeah, but I'm still looking at the ultimates that the Meerkats have. They're going to come back with 4 ultimates. While, yeah, they're, currently losing this team fight and the time is getting lower and lower, those 4 ultimates that they have are absolutely huge. You can pair up the grab with the pulse bomb or the grab with the blade here and still have a rally left to go. But look at the Lobsters as well. They have the bomb. Turget's been holding on to that forever at this point. Tannic is close to another Molten Core. Altair close to another pulse bomb. Naomi has that Transcendence ready to go. That could pretty much save them in the grab.
It definitely could, as now you see once again Meerkat taking that right side approach, Date taking a different approach, but Louisiana know that they're there. The dive comes in, the grab also comes in from Michael, the bomb from Turget doesn't get anything, and now it's a trade. Slide dies, and the Transcendence is used here from Naomi to keep the rest of the team alive. Joe Badonk ends up falling, but Altair's Pulse Bomb finds Majestic. Pulse Bomb from the other side doesn't find anything, but the kills are still going favor here for the Meerkat. Kollapse as Lobsters trying to run back into the point. They have the spawn advantage, so they can try to stall this out in the aftermath as Tannic B tries to find the kill onto Sam. Don't go for the hammer kill at this time of day. And the turret will end up finishing out Sam. And now it's going to be a full hold here from the side of Louisiana Lobsters. 74% taken here for the side of Meerkats.
Yeah, you know what? What a great defensive hold there by the Lobsters, especially after that 74% was capped there for the Meerkats. It certainly seemed like, you know, they were just going to kind of pick off the rest of the Lobsters as they were just trickling out of spawn. But the swaps they made there really made the difference. And while Tanakby did go for that hammer kill at the end to assert dominance over Sam, didn't end up getting it, but did end up getting the kill, which ended up really being the final nail in the coffin for the Meerkats on their attack. All the Lobsters have to do now, 74.2% on the second point. That's it.
Yeah, that's all they have to do, but they have to make their way to that second point first. And based on what the enemy team is running on the defense, it might be a little bit difficult considering Reborn's still on this Tracer.
Yeah, Reborn is going to be an absolute pest in the backline. Altair, I know, is just teasing us right now. I'm not getting my hopes up at all about that pick.
I saw that. I'm like, why would you run that on defense? But then I realized that was the attacking team.
I don't think you should run on offense either.
Yeah, you also really should not run on offense unless you're playing Overwatch 2. In which case, it could be possible.
But we are not in Overwatch 2 yet, as they will not give us another beta. But Altair swapping off the Bastion, go to the Cassie, a smarter pick. Honestly, going the normal 6-man route right now, I really like that from them.
1.
Yep, the stock standard, not really a stock standard dive. I call it a stock standard brawl composition, mostly because they have this Cassidy May. That's pretty much stock standard. As they go into this left room immediately, is Meerkat expecting this? Where is Sam to try and go in for this role in composition? We'll see. As you see, Louisiana Lobsters take this high ground immediately, just sticking together as a unit, not separating too much. Sam tries to go in for the pile drive and finds Tanakby on the May, but there's a lot of defense there from turret, but not enough as Dade is able to find out the pick onto the May. Jobadonk is on the high ground trying to find anything, but Reborn gets taken out by Altair, so it's an even fight here for the side of Louisiana Lobsters. They just need to try to find their way onto this point, and they will start moving their way back onto the point here. The dynamite comes out from Dade, able to land onto Naomi on that Baptiste, so it's still possible here for the side of Louisiana Lobsters to lose this as Meerkats try to find some way into this. That's a big wall, however, from Tanakby, shuts out the entrance, so now that this first ticket taken here from the Lobsters as they try to find any sort of kills here to continue this, and Altair finds Michael. Reborn ends up dying, gets the kill onto Altair, however, so it's still even here, and now Sam finds Naomi thanks to really good boot coming out from Dade. Now the Louisiana Lobsters down both of their supports, and it's going to be a win here for the Meerkats.
Yeah, the tank's very much in a bad spot right now. Between a rock and a hard place, essentially, Turget gets demeched, and the Meerkats doing the right thing here. Absolutely just going to stagger them out. The Lobsters, though, do have one tick, and they will have almost all their ultimates ready to go in this next engagement. But you look... Meerkats, they will have the minefield ready to go, the Transcendence and the Rally ready to go. However, I see a lot of stuff that the Lobsters can use with all these ultimates they're about to have, that they could easily win this point in the next team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. They're about to come up on 6 ultimates here. Jobadonk is the farthest away from his ultimate, having 77% to that shatter. So Deadeye starts out here from Altair, just trying to find any sort of picks to separate the enemy teams, and it will be successful in that. Just separates the team as they make their way back to the point. Turret goes straight for Sly on that Zen and forces out the Transcendence early. That could be disastrous here as Meerkats, they end up trying to contest this. The mines come out here from Sam as the shatter lands right onto Michael, eliminates that mech, and the kills are all going in favor here for Louisiana Lobsters. Jobadonk ends up dying, but you don't really need your main tank when the rest of the team is dead. Louisiana Lobsters will get the first point.
Yeah, like I said, the Lobsters, all they needed, they had the ultimates there to easily win that point away from the Meerkats, and all they really need to use there was the Shatter and the High Noon. While they did end up using both the Beat and the Damage Matrix, just those two ultimates that I talked about were so big for them in that engagement, and we're already seeing them take it straight to the second point.
Yeah, absolutely, and already 3 picks are in favor here for the side of Meerkat Kollapse. Tanakby gets that last kill onto Sly, and Dade ends up dying to Altair, but still, the kills all go in favor of the Meerkat Kollapse, and they hold the point. Simple as that.
Yeah, just under 4 minutes now for the Lobsters here to get 74.2%. They have a bomb ready to go. They're about 50% of the way onto a Shatter and a Damage Matrix. Only a Meteor Strike ready right now for the Meerkats, but a Bob almost or just around the corner for them, and this could be devastating if Bob is thrown into a close quarters area with the entirety of the Lobsters.
Lobsters going through that close quarters area as you say that, so it's going to be interesting to see what Meerkats' defense tactic is going to be. Date now has this bomb if they want to throw it onto the point, and they will. Lands onto the Baptiste, and that's massive. The bomb gets 2 because of that. The Baptiste was unable to heal, keep everyone alive, and it's a 4K from Date's Bob. Bob is the MVP. 5K from Bob. That does not happen every day.
No, and I want to draw your eye while it has disappeared now. They were almost there to 1 tick, but the Meerkats got on it just before that tick went across. So now the Lobsters got nothing out of that fight other than the fact that they know that both the DPSs and both the tanks are nowhere near their ultimates for the Meerkats.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult here for Louisiana Lobsters. They still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds as they make their way onto the point. The Deadeye used first here from Altair. Focus it onto Sam, and Sam will end up dying there. But still, Reborn is in your backline. You're all burning to death, and you end up dying to Reborn in the end. Jovadonk uses the Shatter. It gets both supports on the ground, but there's no follow-up. Sly ends up dying, so does Reborn. The Brigida Majestic nowhere to go, and the Blizzard is there from Tanic B to keep that Debuff Michael contested. Sam now back on the point, trying to contest it. Right now, it is just a contested game for the Meerkats as the first tick is given here to the Louisiana Lobsters. The second tick almost taken as the bomb is used here from Turget. Just trying to bring it to that percent, and they get it! The Louisiana Lobsters will bring us to a map 5!
Yeah, what an excellent bomb there by Turget. It really made the Meerkats decide whether or not they wanted to die on point or try to see if they could instantly get back on point just after it exploded, and they made the wrong choice there. The Lobsters have now turned this around and are 1 map away from completing the reverse sweep and handing the Meerkats their first loss of the season.
This could be the biggest match thus far for the Meerkats. This map has to be the decider. The good news, it's Control. They chose an Oasis for the final map of the series because they know that this map hopefully is the one to be able to bring them to victory. And based on what we saw from Nepal, this is a pretty safe bet here.
Yeah, based off what we saw there, it's going to be really hard for the Lobsters to necessarily do anything. But we have to remember, the Lobsters made essentially a 3-member substitution after that second map of Eichenwald. And ever since that point, they have been the much better team. So these 3 players have instantly turned this game around in the favor of the Lobsters. And you could also say the momentum is now in favor of them as well, as the Meerkats, they were able to find picks there on that second point, but it just seemed like they were very, very scared to go and contest that point just because they were afraid of necessarily dying there, but they needed to die on point there just to try to prolong that contest as long as they could, because we saw how good the Lobsters did it. They just threw bodies on the point to contest, and eventually they were able to find a couple of good picks on their defensive end that they were able to just regain control of that point and get the Meerkats off of it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see what these 2 teams come out with this map here. Those 2 picks from those 2 swaps that we saw from Lobsters, those 3 swaps technically including Gusty, have been making a big difference. We've been seeing a lot of strong performance from Altair and Tanic B that really have started to turn this around. So there is the potential that they can win this, and it is the potential that they could try to turn this around, especially on Oasis, which can tend itself a lot to a brawl composition, but still, we've seen them succeed on brawl compositions. We've seen them succeed thus far. It can work in favor of the Lobsters if they put it out perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Well, we just talked about the success of the lobster substitutions. What about we talk about the 1 sub and the 1 swap that the Meerkats did? They brought Date in, and I don't necessarily know, other than that 1 Bob they had, if they were necessarily getting a lot of value with Date in. Sly going to the support, I guess did good. I wasn't necessarily paying that much of attention to them, but I didn't necessarily see their name pop up a lot in the kill feed, but their ultimates were clutch for the Meerkats at times. They just weren't clutch at the end.
Yeah, Sly and Date definitely having that sort of role swap. I mean, I can tell you this. Sly on the Ana definitely did a lot of power there for Meerkats' attack. That Ana did a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But we really did not see that impact after they swapped off to the Ana. The Ana. We did not see a lot of big impact. We didn't really see a lot of big plays, but still, there is the potential that this could be for some sort of setup. Maybe Sky was, I'm pretty sure Sky, from what I recall, is European. So in that case, Meerkats obviously had to make the swap for Sly over to the support role because Sky was getting very late. But still, it's interesting to see that they have this dynamic. Maybe it's not these reasons, though. We did see a lot of good moments from Date. They still have that power under their belt. It all depends on how well they can do on this final map, however, as this is a decider. Winner takes it all, or the winner takes it all, loser goes home without a win. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Meerkats respond to the Lobsters' really good run thus far.
And honestly, this is a very good story going into this last map. Meerkats perfect in the first split, so far perfect in the second split. The Lobsters struggled out the gate in the first split, ending off the first split 2-2, a 500 record. They pick up a couple players here to start the second split and win that first game in a 3-2 fashion as well. And now we're seeing those players that I believe were already on the team come in and sub in, and just seem like that they are comfortable playing with the rest of the members on their team. Now we could be looking at the fact that the Meerkats might be handed their first loss, and the Lobsters, after struggling in that first split, like I said, might now be the cream of the crop here in the intermediate division.
Absolutely. As we start here on Oasis, our first map is going to be city centered. You got to watch out for those cars. You have that jump pad to bring you up to the high ground. And right now, you have two different compositions on both sides.
Yeah, at the moment, we're seeing two different things. Sorry. We're seeing a Sombra come out right now for the Lobsters. I do like a Sombra pick, especially on this map. A lot of space allows Sombra to kind of just have a free roam of just pestering the backline and maybe even getting a kill, especially onto a character like Naomi or Majestic. If they're able to hack Majestic and just put a full clip into them, it should immediately delete them. But now we're coming out right now, and Joe Badoink on that Winston is going to be interesting, as they're playing basically essentially a dive composition into a 6-man.
I mean, it is 6-man dive, technically, from the side of Louisiana Lobsters. The brawl composition isn't really known as 6-man, but they still set up right by the cars. They want to try to see everything. They do not want really that high ground because they want to brawl onto the point with the rest of the team. And you already see that impact as Joe Badonk ends up falling immediately. The Meerkats starting to pummel right on top of the Louisiana Lobsters, and they will be getting this first point in the end of it all.
Yeah, look at that already. Joe Badoink swapping off of it. Actually, we're just going to probably see a lot of swaps come here for the Lobsters, and essentially they're going right back to our mirror match. They want to try to see if they could catch the Meerkats off guard. However, it just seemed like they were completely just out team diffed there.
Yeah, definitely. They were not prepared for that brawl composition coming out from the Meerkats. But now you see that's Louisiana Lobsters pushing forward. That's a beautiful wall coming out from Tannic B, being able to trap the Reinhardt and the other tank into it. Deadeye comes out here from Date, unable to find anything, but now Michael is without their mech, so it's going to be challenging here. But still, Reborn finds a critical headshot on Disgusting. That means there's no speed boost to the enemy side, and that Shatter, I don't know how it hit, but it hit still. And Sam ends up dying, however. At the end of the day, Louisiana Lobsters will find the kills. I'm not going to talk about that Shatter from Joe Badonk because it wasn't that great, but still, Louisiana Lobsters are starting to struggle a little bit as I say that. Reborn and Majestic are still alive, and they're contesting this point as much as possible. Date's coming back into the fight as well, so Meerkats might have some sort of chance to be able to bring this back, as there are no tanks on the side of Louisiana Lobsters, and they will be able to try and bring it back in the end, and it's going to be Louisiana Lobsters retreating.
Yeah, the Lobsters would be smart right now to retreat. They're about to have a couple good ultimates ready to go. Same could be said for the side of the Meerkats. That Blizzard will probably be a fighting engager here for them if I were to say anything. But the Blizzards actually be their fighting engager for the Lobsters, and it gets Ian!
It won't be the fight engager for the Lobsters. Reborn uses their Blizzard. They end up taking out Tannic B because of it. The bomb comes out here from Michael, trying to find the last picks, but still, the picks are now going in favor here for the side of Louisiana Lobsters. Altair finds Sly, and now all of a sudden there's Majestic on the support line. Reborn dies, and now this beat from Majestic might not be able to get anything, as Date tries to find another Deadeye, unable to get it, gets killed out by Naomi, and at the end of the day, Louisiana Lobsters find the advantage of it all, and it looks like they might just be able to cap this. Majestic tries to come in for that last minute stall, will get killed out, but it's 97% here for the side of the Meerkats.
Yeah, honestly, not having it go over into overtime is probably both a good and a bad thing for the Meerkats. But now the Lobsters really don't have any ultimates almost ready to go right now. Actually, I believe Joe Badoink does have that Shatter ready to go. But we see both the support ultimates ready to go for the Meerkats. So this is going to be a really interesting fight as we see the damage start out here. Huge shatter, though.
Three-man shatter coming out from Joe Bedoink, but still, Sam has found 2 kills thus far on the opposing Reinhardt. Gusty takes out Majestic, however, so now that Lucio out of the picture, and you see, look at Sam just trying to go right to the back line, trying to find any sort of picks, and Tanikby caught off guard by it. The Meerkats finding the kills they need with those 2 support ults, and at the end of the day, they will be getting this point back into their favor. That stun coming out from Date to try and stop Joe Bedoink from getting the pile drive. Overtime is triggered here, so there is a chance here for the side of Meerkat to try and continue touching this point and get it back into their favor. Gusty just jumps right over that shatter coming out from Sam. Joe Bedoink teaching him a lesson right now as Joe Bedoink tries to stall at this point. The rest of the Meerkat class trying to continue killing out all of these Louisiana Lobsters members. Tanikby gets killed out immediately from Reborn, and Date uses that Deadeye, gets a 3K in this fight, and it's going to be the Meerkat Kollapse winning this first point and setting themselves up to denying this reverse sweep first.
Yeah, honestly, it just seems like the Meerkats are such a better team on these control maps, and it's already showing here on Oasis. While the Lobsters, again, able to take a retake here on the first point like they did on Nepal, really just struggled to get anything after that, as a shatter, which did find 3 from Joe Bedoink, confirmed no kills, and instead 2 members of the Lobsters themselves ended up falling.
Yeah, definitely rough there for the side of Louisiana Lobsters, because it was a good shatter. It just needed to hit more people in order to deny any sort of coverage from that window coming out from Sly. But at the end of the day, the window was more powerful and just burnt down the rest of the Louisiana Lobsters. But now we head over to Gardens, where both teams are running this mirror.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at Date and Altair's stats right now. Altair only has about 2,700 damage. Date almost has 6,000 damage on that Cassidy. Date absolutely dipping right now in the battle of the Cassidys, and it could be huge for them if they're able to keep up their dominance here on this second point.
Well, you see Meerkat Kollapse taking the aggressive approach right into the side of the Louisiana Lobsters, but Sam goes a little too aggressive and gets burnt down by Tanikby. Joe Bedoink gets it falling to Michael here, but it's still back and forth. No main tanks on either side, but now Tanikby is dead to Reborn. Gusty finds Reborn. It is still back and forth. 2 Mays and 2 Reinhardts eliminating this fight, but it's going to be Meerkat Kollapse taking that first pick in this fight, and they will be getting that first cap, as it's going to be Louisiana resetting.
Yeah, and look at this. Already 1, 2, 3 ultimates ready for the Meerkats here. They're close to 4 and 5. 2 ultimates ready for the Lobsters right now. But we're already seeing the damage measures come out from Sly, kind of just prolonging or kind of not allowing.
Yep, the shatter coming out there from Joe Bedoink, tries to knock a few to the ground, able to get not anything. Yep, no, it's Meerkats being able to win. I'm pretty sure Sam also used their shatter, and Date just fanning the hammer, just eliminating as many members as possible, and it's going to be a win here for the Meerkats.
Yeah, right now the Lobsters are running out of options. They do have ultimates here. As we see Altair go off of the Cassie, showing a Reaper there for a moment before going to a Sim. Interesting pick, but looking at the Meerkats, they have a bomb, they have a beat, they're close to another Blizzard. Tanikby almost has that Blizzard. This is in my opinion the fight that the Lobsters need to win, as they have both those support ultimates ready to go.
Yep, window comes out first here from Naomi. Sets up on that high ground to be able to avoid any sort of kills. The bomb comes out here from Michael. It has to be big. Unable to get anything. The beat, however, is forced out from Gusty. Both Blizzards use at the same time. None are eaten as Target actually eats Reborn's ultimate. I missed that. But now Tanikby gets the more value with the Blizzard. And it's going to be the Lobsters being able to take this point into their favor as long as they get rid of Sly and make sure that Baptiste will not be able to touch. Louisiana Lobsters will be able to get this point, but now they have to deal with Michael. It's going to be a Sagerfest here for the side of Meerkats, but it's going to be the point for the Lobsters.
Like I said, going into that fight, the Lobsters need to win that fight with the ultimates they had. They used the damage matrix. They were able to get the Blizzard not to be eaten, and then the beat came out from Gusty to keep them all alive. That was the perfect team fight for them there, as the ultimate economy is pretty much almost the same at this point. Altair is close to a wall. We have a bomb ready. The damage matrix comes out from Sly, but it's a little bit far for almost anyone on their team.
Oh, but the shatter comes out from Joe Bedoink, knocks 2 to the ground, but once again, the shatter doesn't get any value. Joe Bedoink ends up falling. Reborn dies supplies to Altair, however, so Louisiana Lobsters trying to find a sort of stabilization, and Naomi ends up dying to the chin coming out from Sam. Deadeye from Date, unable to get anything, thanks to that wall coming out from Altair as Lobsters try to stabilize here when they need it the most. Meerkat Kollapse, looking for any sort of value. They're looking to find which side they can try to engage on the best, as a teleport is placed from Altair to try and get their Reinhardt back into the fight. Doesn't work in their favor. Altair burning down as much members as possible, and Michael loses their mech at the most crucial point of the fight. Sam has Shatter online, however. It gets two, it gets both DBS on the ground, but there's no follow-up since the D.Va is dead. You're not able to push in without your off-tank in play, and the Lobsters take the fight win.
Yeah, the Lobsters doing everything they need to do to keep themselves alive in the series. Altair is one person I want to kind of focus on in that last engagement. While they lost their Rhine, that wall that they provided was huge for them. And also, that beam at level 3 is an absolute thing you do not want to be in front of. It melts everyone in this game, and as long as Sam had that shield up, it was just gonna only make that beam stronger.
Blizzard comes out from Tanny B to separate Meerkat Kollapse. The window was also used from Naomi, and Altair is dead! Reborn able to get that crucial kill. The bomb comes out here from Target, unable to get any sort of kills, but now Jobadonk has fallen, and the Lobsters starting to fall when it matters the most, and this is not good for them. Look at the side of Meerkats. They have almost every ult online here. They could win this fight in a win here, Dex.
Yeah, they could, but we'll go in overtime, which is a big benefit for the Lobsters right now. Gusty, oh, I thought they were able to escape with their life, but they end up falling there. That only hurts them now as they have to wait for them to respond. But look, you said it yourself. The Meerkats have 4 ultimates ready to go. The Lobsters only have that Shatter and a wall that will be upgraded really soon. Here comes the High Noon. It needs to find someone. It finds two!
Jake finds Joe, but the Shatter comes out here from Jobadonk, but the bomb is there from Michael to be able to deny it. Overtime is triggered, and Jake is finding the kills that they need. Meerkat Kollapse. They say we're not defeated today. You're the ones who are gonna collapse, and Meerkat Kollapse deny the reverse sweep.
Yeah, just an excellent performance by them there. They had the ultimates in that last engagement, and Date, like I said, as he popped that High Noon, needed to find at least one member of it. He found 2, and that, in my opinion, really ended this game in favor of the Meerkats.
Date doing an amazing job. Those Deadeyes, those Cassidy plays. We didn't highlight them a lot on the Temple of Anubis, but they showed up when it mattered the most here on Oasis. And at the end of the day, it's unfortunately Louisiana Lobsters losing at the end. No offense to Meerkat Kollapse. An amazing job, and you keep your undefeated season. But Louisiana Lobsters are probably going to be looking for that revenge come the playoffs time.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Date there, because he just got to play the game by only fanning the hammer. I think that's kind of funny.
I love hitting right click repeatedly.
It's broken, you know.
It is broken.
But honestly, this was a very, very surprising series for us. The Lobsters, after going down 2-0, I really thought we were just making some subs in desperation, but those subs came in and absolutely made a huge difference. Tanic B and all of them that came in when they swapped out, half their team was just so after those subs, the Lobsters were such a different team, and it seemed like the Meerkats really had a hard time getting back into a rhythm or just trying to match them. But they got lucky with that control, in my opinion, was the last map type that they played, because over on Nepal, it seemed like they were the better control team.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely seem like the better control team, being able to take those control points that they need. And at the end of the day, it is Meerkat Kollapse coming out on top. But Louisiana Lobsters, you showed yourselves that you can bring it to the edge here with the top team here in League 0 Season 5 Intermediate Division. There's no hope. There's no hope. There's a lot of hope to go into heading into your third and final regular season match and the mid-season tournament and eventually the playoffs. So really good job here from the Louisiana Lobsters.
Yeah, but we are going to take a short break before we come right back with an interview from one member of the Meerkat Kollapse.
Welcome back, everybody. After such an intense match between the Louisiana Lobsters and Meerkat Collapse, we are joined with a player from the winning team, the Meerkat Collapse. It's the off-tank Michael. Michael, how you feeling after such an amazing match?
Feeling good. We could have closed it out in three, but we just wanted to give them a little bit of hope that, they actually had a chance of winning the series. But obviously, I knew in my team, I'm confident in my team. I knew we'd close it out regardless. So, happy to get the win. Lobsters, they're okay. So, happy that it was a good game overall. Just
Yeah.
kidding. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't want to ego. I don't want to ego. It's not nice.
so you joke about that you guys gave them two maps there, but it really did seem like after the Lobsters made their subs, especially after Ike involved there, that they were a little bit of a much different team. Did it take you guys a little bit to kind of just get back into a rhythm or understand how they were going to be playing with those three new players?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with how it says. I didn't really notice a difference between any of the players. I think it was more so after third map we started trolling. I mean, we thought they were gonna go brawl and then we stuck brawl for more than a fight. I went hog for a bit, tried to do some crazy flank shit. We did a lot of inspirational stuff on Route 66, which lost us that. And then Central came in for Temple, and it was kind of like we shouldn't have picked Temple against them because I thought I'm the one that made the call that we can take these guys on Temple, but they're a pretty good brawl team, and I expected that we could beat it, but they were better than I thought they were on the map, so they took that one. But obviously, I was like, okay, we can just actually just roll them on Oasis. I knew we were the better team even on all the maps. It was just about like stopping like the mental of like sometimes you have to have the mental of that you're not the better team. You have to like drop the ego and focus on the grind, and that's what we did after the first two maps, and that's why we were able to close it out.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good series overall. But now, Meerkat Collapse is undefeated thus far, 5-0 in the regular season. And next week, you have once again you have your last matchup of the season, which is going to be up against Blind Eye Society. How are you feeling heading into your last match of the regular season?
Heading into Blind Eye, the first time we played them, it was a little bit close, but that's because we're still trying to figure out what our team identity was. We were like running like 7 different comps in that whole series. So I think now that we're a lot more polished, we're just gonna roll them 3-0. It's not gonna be close. Just being honest, they're not good. They're kind of bad. We're gonna roll them 3-0. Actually, maybe we'll give them a map, but no, it's not gonna be close.
Adding some fuel to the fire for all those Blind Eye Society members. I like it.
I love Four though. Shout out Four. He's on that team. I love that guy. He's the GOAT.
So you had a great performance tonight. Your other tank, Sam, had a great performance tonight as well. But I want to try to focus off of you guys a little bit and talk about your supports, as we did see a kind of a sub out and a swap in there after on Temple and throughout the rest of the series. Just is that you guys just trying stuff out, or is it part of your trolling thing? And how much you guys trust your supports that you guys are able to do these like incredible plays?
Yeah, so originally the plan going into today was to run Majestic Slimal. Dux isn't here and neither is Tyranitar. But, an hour before the game and we're like, yo, where's Central at? And Central wasn't responding to pings, and we're like, well then, what are we going to do? So then you were like, you know what, our best chance, Slimal. He's just an incredibly smart player. Definitely one of the smartest players like in these like tournaments, like these lower level tournaments. Even though like his SR might not reflect it, he's like the brain of a GM. He helps a lot. So he's like, I'm just gonna play the brain dead DPS, and it's just brain dead. And he just made calls that helped us win. Sky, we haven't scrimmed with Sky. I think we scrimmed with him once, but they're the other support that's on the team that we're able to fill. And then Central came back after the third map, so we were always planning on putting Central in and putting Sly back on flex support regardless. But yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, good way to make good use of a weird situation. Obviously, you went all the way to you were able to take those first two maps with this weird line with Sly playing the DPS, so it worked out into your favor in the end. So
yeah, Sly did pretty good. Like he's like a plat DPS player, and he kind of diffed the first two maps. Third map always just a troll, but yeah, no, Sly did pretty good for the situation we were in. So I'm happy for him. He's a really good player, just on any role.
definitely.
I don't have any more questions. Do you have any more, man?
No, I don't think I do. So, any last words here from you, Michael? Anyone you want to shout out or thank for coming out tonight and seeing the match?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to two people on a team that is not doing good. Engage. Feaskin, my roommate. Love that guy. And then Optical, I'm sorry that you're on another jail team. You deserve better. I'm sorry that you keep losing and you deserve to win, bro. But yeah, that's all the shout outs I'll give for now. I'll give more when, we're in the grand finals and we take it.
Yeah, definitely. Having a lot of confidence there coming out there. But thank you, Michael, for coming out. Congratulations once again to you and your team, and we hope to see you later in the season.
Yeah, thank you guys for casting and streaming. It's really awesome. I can't wait to watch it back. And you guys have a great night.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
too,
same
man.
with you. And with that, that is going to be it here for our feature match. We thank you all for watching, but make sure tomorrow that you stay tuned at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our next match, which is going to be Gen Etic versus Trolley Gang, or at least the advanced matches, I'm pretty sure. Gen Etic versus Trolley Gang, Red Veal versus Kingdom, and Goats Only versus Easy Clap. It's going to be a lot of interesting matches tomorrow, Dex, and it's going to be interesting to watch all of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see all of them. I believe the I forget. I think it's Genetic and Trolley Gang is actually the streamed game tomorrow, if I remember correctly.
Potentially, we'd have to check on that, but it's gonna be
Red Veil and Kingdom.
Yeah, it's gonna be Red Veil and Kingdom that apparently is streamed tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these two matches come out and how these matches come out and how the rest of the season shapes here in League Zero. So been an amazing season thus far, Dex, and from my first time in League Zero, this was an exciting one to watch.
Yeah, I think you got a great introduction to League Zero tonight, man, and you yourself did incredible with the play-by-play.
You did amazing with the color cast as well. And also we can't outlie the third person. We got to give a big shout out to our producer, which was Knock on Wood. Great job on the production work as usual here. But that's going to do it for us. For myself, Dexatron, and Knock on Wood, our producer, we thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.